I'm just going to be working on some documents for a second until I can concentrate on what we're doing.
I just realized, like, I'm the in-between on both of you. Sarah's all hair, Brian's all beard. I'm like, no hair, little beard. It's fucking perfect balance of your sweetness.
Well, I'm going Tuesday to get my hair cut.
But what about your beard cut?
It'll be trimmed a little bit.
And you don't want to disturb the birds that nest in it. That's like against the EPA.
Right. They bring me worms.
Yeah. They sing him to sleep at night.
They do.
Downvote unsubbed late. Must be on Aussie time. Oh, dear God. Speaking of people who should be joining us, where's that prick?
Who are we talking about?
He's with Max Liao.
Oh.
Huh? What? What's going on? Hello?
Let's be fair. Max is just jealous because he's a dirty Capellan. And, you know, Capellans get jealous. It's called treachery. So, how have we been this week?
Peachy.
Ducky. Here. This is how I've been.
Oh, you got a new one.
Laser Floyd.
That's cool. Have that going 24/7. That's awesome.
I wish I could. If I could find a way to have it always going on, and then I could just do like, Hypnotoad type shit, I would. But one more for you.
That's awesome.
That's what that feels like every time I fire that one off.
I get it.
So, Game Masters Brian, what's going on in the world of D&D this week?
Nothing.
Awesome. Sarah, what's happening in that make-believe place you live?
We don't have enough military troops, so we're heavily investing in a lot of drone technology for no reason at all.
But did you have any ships sink upon launch? Bear, what's going on in the world of Heroic?
A lot of releases going on the Patreon. The layouts are being done. I'm going through artists like Spinal Tap goes through drummers.
So here's a topic, right?
Okay.
Not that this is going to be a justification for using AI, because that's not where I'm going with this. But here's the question I have, because I too am working on a project in which I need artists. I have gone through maybe 7 so far, trying to get just even a basic sketch from them. Now, I'm not going through Fiverr. I'm not going through anything like that. But like your experience, I have reached out. I have given them, a basic idea of what I'm looking for, and have requested them to provide to me a budget and whether or not they could do the art. And I've had, of those 7, I've had 4 reach back out to me with budgets. And yes, I could definitely do this. I said, okay, let's move forward. And then I never hear from them again.
They will lie, Brian. They will always tell you they can do it.
Oh, no, I understand.
No matter what
I
it
get
is.
that.
You can show them Rembrandt or fucking SpongeBob and say, can you do this style? And they'd be like, yep.
And no, I get that. I get that. And that's one of the reasons why I'm not going to use Fiverr, because all they're going to do is just plug in some shit to Midjourney or something and claim that I hand drew this. No, you didn't. So, I mean, what has been your experience in that?
Hang on, talking to an artist right now who's my graphics guy from Egypt, I think. He's amazing. He does all my logo work and everything, so I'll design a logo and then I'll send it to him, go turn this into an SVG file for me, please.
Yeah.
And then we'll go back and forth, and then he'll finally give me my final SVG file, which I can resize for print and all that. It's fucking brilliant. He's amazing, and he gets the work done. So thus far, I'm going to say, if you can find a talented Egyptian artist, work with them. They appear to have a work ethic. From what I can see in this limited experience. Hang on, not overlapped and not. Okay, so what do I? Okay, here are my top takeaways from all of my experiences with artists. One, they all lie and say they can do every style possible. Two, the art they show you in their portfolio is not the art they're going to deliver because they put their best time-consuming, meticulous pieces in their portfolio and then they half-ass your work and just rush through it like at light speed. Three, they love to charge you half up front or all up front, and then there's a real good question whether or not they'll deliver anything usable for you, so you will piss money away. Four, they are flaky as fuck, and 90% of them have no work ethic, and you will chase them to the ends of time to get stuff back, and then they'll rush job it and give it back to you like, that's good enough, isn't it? That's good enough. Yep, sure. What are we on? 5, 6? Where are we at?
5.
5. We're going on to 5. Okay, 5. They overcharge. They all fucking overcharge. They it's insane how much they overcharge. And 6, when you do find the unicorn, they're going to vanish from the face of the earth.
Yeah.
They're just going to disappear.
They'll produce a really awesome thing for you. You love it. You both agree to the price. You pay once. You need more. And where did they go?
They're gone. Where the fuck did they go?
7. It'll take them a year and a half.
Yes, time is like I said, you'd be chasing them forever. So 7 ties into my 5. And 8, in a couple of years, no one's going to give a fuck if you use AI art. No one.
That's fair.
No one's going to give a fuck if you use AI music. No one's going to give a fuck if you use AI to write your prose. No one's going to give a fuck about anything so long as it's consumable, looks good, reads well, and is a product that they enjoy. So this little virtue signaling bullshit twat fest we're currently in, where if you say, I'd like to use some AI art for this, I will fucking boycott you, and I will stand on top of Mount Rushmore, and I will shout you down to Satan himself because you dared to use AI.
Yeah, but isn't Trump renaming it Mount Rushmore?
Idiots they are. Anyway. What?
I don't know.
Dude, don't do that. We've got an Australian here. They're weird. They're like the most left-wing, right-wingers I've ever met in my life. Hi, Sax. Did you have snacks for my rant?
I did.
I'm trying to figure out, what are you eating? Is that like a sandwich out of a box?
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. What's the story behind that?
No, this is how it's served at the supermarket. You have, a box that carries your sandwich in. They've cut it out for you. There you go. There's a box with your sandwich.
Huh.
So
ours is all done. Ours is all done in plastic, like little plastic triangles.
This is considered standard here in the UK.
Wow.
Like, this is how you're meant to. You can get the ones that are just pure plastic. They are considered to be the cheap option. This is considered to be the standard option of, like, if you buy something that's got in a box, at least they've tried to make it decently to eat.
Gotcha. Yeah, ours, the ones that come in the plastic triangles here, are usually at gas stations. Gas station sandwich.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God, I've had those.
Where it's 90% bread. The 10% meat has all been a little ball on the left far corner of it. So
it's got that thin layer of margarine.
If that.
Meant to look like butter, but it ain't butter.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So Fucking artists.
Mhm.
Fucking artists. Like they're killing it. Like I said, the one part is you'll get your unicorn, and then they fucking vanish. So we had this guy in the Philippines, Bonks Arts. Everybody I know's worked with him. He's decent. He's a little hard sometimes to get to understand what the fuck you want. So you kind of have to overwhelm him with visual reference points to get what you want. But when you get him to where he's giving you what you want, he actually does decent work. If I had to say that my only 2 complaints about him, he draws feet really big. And he gives everyone really sharp, pointy elbows. Like, my elbows don't do that. They're a little tiny bit of point, but he'll draw them like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just a weird thing in his style.
Yeah.
But otherwise, he's good. Vanished without a trace about a year ago. We don't know if he died in a hurricane. We don't know if he was kidnapped by, Filipino Muslim terrorists in the South. We don't know. He's just gone. Okay. Then I got this other guy I work with, Tony. Great guy. Love Tony. Sax, you've seen his work. Tony's a great guy. He's not as polished as the other guys, but he does a good, decent job. He's like, you know what, man? Let me just come on and work with you. Let's do this. Let's get it done. I'm like, all right, you know what? Fucking A, Tony. You're my guy. Let's get it done. And then immediately winds up in the hospital for health issues.
Of course.
Yeah. My first artist, Oliver, tremendous artist, great guy. Agreed to a flat rate price for the project with profit sharing at the end. We were in a great place. Does the cover and has a mental health breakdown and has to leave the project.
Wow.
We are literally going through artists like Spinal Tap goes through drummers.
Yeah.
And I don't get it. Do not understand it. And if I could just be allowed to use AI art without having this fucking backlash from the country form, you have a charcuterie board. Well, you have a country form, is what I like to refer to these people that are all like, hey, I will never support anything that uses AI artwork, and I will also encourage people to boycott it. Well, I'm going to come to your house and slap the dick out of your mouth while you're trying to work and see how you like it, Well, I would say that's a weird combination you two were doing, but it was really
it was set up really well.
Yeah.
Is that what a Brownstein is? That's a Brownstein. Okay, now I understand. Anyway, so fuck artists.
Oh yeah, no,
I'm done with you cunts. I got one guy left I work with who's a fucking pro. He doesn't overcharge. He delivers on time and has the decency to fucking tell you when he's going to be busy because his wife's in the hospital and he's got to deal with her health issues. So fuck all y'all.
Yep.
If you could do anything else in your life, you would. But you can't because you don't have a work ethic. You don't have a fucking ability to get shit done. You're fucking living in your Tim Burton dreamland. Oh, no, I'm an artist. And as a result, you never learned how to produce. The ones who did are making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year as commercial artists. Guys like John Zeslin, I can't say his name. Did a lot of Palladium covers. Guys like Alex Ross, who can charge $15,000 to $20,000 for one fucking piece because they know when they put it on the cover of a comic, that comic's going to sell a shit ton of those issues just for that fucking cover. Who gives a fuck what's between the pages? You know what I mean? Those guys, but they produce. They know how to work. They know how to deliver on time. Art Adams is one of my favorite artists of all times, but there's a reason why Art Adams only does covers, because Art Adams would rather be surfing, literally, than drawing comic book panels. So he made the choice not to be a comic book panel guy and therefore not fucking kill projects with his lateness. It's amazing. It's amazing how a little bit of self-awareness and work ethic can make an artist into a fucking rich human being. But most of you don't have that because you're too busy being emotional and being flu, flighty, wee, woo, wah, wah. And you think James and the Giant Peach is a fucking lifestyle guide. Yeah.
Why don't you tell us how you really feel? No, I mean, I'm in the same boat with you, Bear. I mean, I'm making a little light of the situation, but I'm in the same boat with you because, like I said, I've gone through 7 artists, let me rephrase. I have reached out to 7 artists. Of those, only 4 have gotten back to me. And, I'm looking to do illustrations for a children's book or for a series of children's books. So it's not like it's going to be I just need one thing made. This is an ongoing set of books.
Yeah,
I've got a horror item that I'm trying to get developed. So, I mean, I've got 2 vastly different genres. Not that I would need the same artist on both of them because, the odds are that somebody can do both zombie-related stuff plus children's books is probably not that great, but I don't know. It's just not
I
been
hear
easy.
you. I hear you. Listen, I guarantee you, 100% guarantee you, every publisher who doesn't have a pool of money with which they can draw upon to just hire the really, really, really renowned or vetted pros that charge what they're worth in a big way, has had the exact same experience we've had. Artists who have the best of intentions and they really believe in the project and they can't fucking get their head out of their ass.
Yeah.
And the one that pisses me off the most, the one that pisses me off to my dying day, I can forgive so many things. It's the when you show me your portfolio and I go, fuck, wow, this is amazing art. This is exactly what I want. Go, 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 gadget, helicopter. And they hand you in something that's half the quality.
Mm-hmm.
Rushed, late, what have you. What the fuck? Why did you show me your best work? You should have showed me your average work.
Right.
Anyway. Well, that's my Sunday ruined. Thanks.
No, that's what we're here for. We just open up the valve and then off the steam comes.
Yeah.
Apparently. I'm making music today. That's what I'm doing. I'm fucking around in Suno all day. That's right, bitches. I use AI to make music. Oh no. I can't afford to spend $100,000 a song on fucking musicians. Oh no.
No.
I actually saw someone on a Reddit. I think it was on Reddit. Might have been somewhere else. Might have been in a Facebook chat. But it was one of these things where they're saying, if you can't afford to produce through artists, maybe you shouldn't be publishing. Like, what a cunt stance that is. You know what I mean? What an absolute elitist horseshit attitude. Like, are you?
Yeah, I mean, we'll just come back at them. If you can't afford your internet or a car or anything else, then maybe you shouldn't have those things. Maybe you should continue to live in the basement with your mommy.
My mommy's dead. I'd like to live in her basement if she was still alive. Yeah, but no, you're right. And this is the problem. This artist elitist mentality. But just like that whole thing, maybe you shouldn't publish if you can't afford to pay real artists. I wish, and sorry, it was a woman, by the way, who opened her mouth and said that. It wasn't a guy, because a guy would expect fully to then be punched in the face for saying some horse shit like that by someone else. Like, it's so fucking amazing how free some people feel to just say the most atrocious shit to other people, knowing they live in a world of zero fucking consequences. Bill Burr may be going a little bit woke and weird these days and kind of anti-Trumper, but he still has one of the best lines ever. He says, if I could walk up and get away with the shit women get away with, I would. If I could walk up to the biggest meathead in the gym and just slap the fucking, smoothie out of his hand and then just laugh at him because I knew I wasn't going to get hurt, I would. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's the same thing online. These people just fucking open their mouths. They know that there's this fucking barrier between them and they just beep, 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 beep. And you're like, oh my fuck, if we were in a room, the taste would be over there on the wall because I slapped it so fucking hard out of your mouth. Jesus Christ. And then they argue. They love to argue this. Oh, so might makes right? No, might makes for polite company. That's what you've forgotten. Is that to be polite, to actually be a decent human fucking being as you're going through life, as opposed to some little fucking shit who maybe you got bullied. You know what? I got bullied. Most everybody got bullied. That's the point. But they tell you the big difference between being bullied and being a victim. I worked in protection services for over 20 years of my life. About 20. And you can literally look at someone walking down the street and go, oh, victim. Like, that person should never step into the wrong alleyway. That person should never be out at night because they're going to get attacked by a predator. A predator is going to take them out. And then you can look at other people and go, no one's ever going to fuck with that guy. And I'm not talking because he's big and burly and he's got a leather jacket. Or just the way they walk, the way they carry themselves, the way they behave. You go, no one's going to fuck with that guy. Because every predator is seeking easy prey. They're not looking for a challenge. They're not looking to prove themselves. They're looking for the easiest target they can get so they get what they want. And in the case of bullying and that type of stuff, it's usually some sort of weird sense of self-satisfaction that they were tougher than someone else or they were bigger than someone else or whatever the case may be. So when they see the target, they know they're going to go for it. And when they see a hard target, they tend to pass because it doesn't benefit them to go after the hard target, and it's dangerous to go after the hard target. So that's the big difference in our society. Everyone gets bullied. How you handle it determines the quality of what kind of person you are. That's the secret to it all. It's not about what happened to you. It's about how you processed, handled, and did with what was done to you. In a bullying sense only, before anybody starts talking about some fucking extreme, because there's always someone's going to come in with like, here we're having a rational argument about the middle of society. Well, yeah, but what if they cut your face with a switchblade? Okay, Jesus Christ, Bob. We're not talking about that level of insanity. We're talking about just average, pushing a locker, fuck you, whatever shit we dealt with as kids. But some people, man, they got bullied and they're just waiting for revenge. And this barrier has given them their avenue for revenge. And it's sick. It's fucking sick. I literally knew a guy who was celebrating Columbine back when it happened because he'd been bullied by jocks. And the original story that came about of those two guys, which we all now know is not true, is that they had been the victims of bullying by jocks. The sportos had bullied them for being smart kids. It turns out that was all bullshit and just a media story that was created by the news, but neither here nor there. But this one guy I knew was going, well, they fucking deserved it, those jocks. Like, these guys just killed a bunch of people, and you think that's acceptable? Holy fuck, we're just dying as a society. Can we just put a fucking pin in Western civilization?
We've always been dying as a society.
No, there was a point where you were growing. There was a point where Western society was the leading force in the world. It was the thing trying to pull other people along. About the 70s it ended, by the way, in case you were wondering.
Yeah, I don't see it, but...
What if they take your D&D dice? Shut the fuck up, Sean. Sean, if I give you the link, do you want to come join us and actually talk some fucking Drek as opposed to typing Drek?
Typing Drek. That's a good one. I like that.
Fuck, you got me all riled up, man. What the fuck?
We didn't do anything. That was all you.
No. This one got me on a topic that he knew was going to make me passionate, and then I got all passionate, and now my fucking passion's up.
No, but that's good. I mean, that makes for entertaining TV.
This isn't TV, man.
Sure it is. Why is it not?
Brian, look at this panel. We are not TV, worthy. We are four random people.
I spent 20 years in the film industry.
No, we're 100%.
Fine.
I will argue this.
You can have your corner. You can have your.
Hold on.
Brian. No. I haven't even fixed
I will argue.
Point, Brian.
No. I'm going to argue this. You show me any sitcom that's running on nightly TV right now that's more entertaining than the four of us sitting here and what we've just been talking about, and I'll concede. But you can't do it because TV is shit today.
I don't watch TV, so I'm the wrong person.
Why? Why do you not watch TV? Because TV is shit. Therefore, you just proved my point that what we're doing is better than TV.
Do you understand what arguing with Americans is like now, Saxy?
No, because everything he's saying is going over my head, and I'm looking at it and going like, okay, there was a point, but it's flying at such a high speed, propelled by bullshit, that is ignited, that it should be going into orbit, but I just can't catch up with it.
Your mom, Sean. Happy birthday to your mom, Sean, and tell her that, we like her, but boy, you were a mistake.
Okay, so let me rephrase. I would rather be sitting here with the three of you guys doing this than sitting down watching TV.
I agree.
Because for me, this is more entertaining than TV. So that, to me, this is better than TV.
I fully agree with you.
Okay.
So back to good news about Heroic. Next week, we got some really cool shit happening, including just posts and what have you that are worth seeing. But on May 30th, I think my two favorite posts, character and lore, that I've ever done are going to be going up. So May 30th is going to be a great day. And then the week of June 2nd, I'm starting a 15-part maxi series called Freebooters, which is about what's going on off of planet Earth in the Zenith universe. to what's happening in the galaxy. So if you like Guardians of the Galaxy or the Omega Men or those kinds of things, that's going to be 3 weeks of great content for you.
That does sound actually pretty cool.
Sorry,
Yeah,
say again?
more building.
That does sound very cool.
Yes.
Sorry, allow me to put this a bit closer to my mouth.
That's what
Just
she
don't put
said.
it right in.
That's what she said.
I know. Just building upon what
Just
you're...
a tip. Oh, Jesus, Brian. Where's the Mormon? He tends to keep you guys much better behaved.
Wait. These guys were ever behaved? I thought they were all just like
When
fire and order.
Brian ADHD is here, they tend to not speak their shit as much. These two, I don't know if you know this or not, but these two were both abducted by the same aliens, as near as I can tell, and they have the same implant in their brain because they can literally just look at each other and make faces and know exactly what each other is saying, and then start giggling like hyenas. It's really creepy.
Sure.
I can't help it.
I'm perfectly innocent. I'm not doing anything.
Anyway,
You
I am a bit behind on the heroic let's plays or streams. How's it been going there?
the Guardians game, which is the every other Monday game, they finally ended the first fight 5 sessions in, I think. So I was starting to refer to that as my Dragon Ball Z campaign.
Yeah.
Where the fight just never fucking ended, but they finally ended the fight. They didn't
Nice.
win, they didn't lose, but the fight's over. So that's a good thing. And then the
Friday.
Every other Friday game, Union City Blues, is going to be moving to Thursdays because I'm going to use Friday nights for the Four Color Cafe now. Okay. And
looks like a boob.
See, 12 years old, looks like a boob. Yeah, that's going well, actually. And I got a really good compliment from a random viewer I've never seen before who said, he goes, I love that you're, taking into account the civilian identities as well as their superhero identities. And I think that's...
No, definitely. I remember when again, I'm a bit behind, so I need to do a big catch up. But the Coco's character, when he comes back to university, everyone, coming back after the main fight with El Oro... something, the Golden Rooster fights. And how everyone...
El Gallo de Oro.
There we go, El Gallo de Oro. Because that was quite nice, again, to see that, because the previous campaign that we had was very focused around, the heroes and what they were doing while they were suited up and caped, with a few flicks into the civilian life, like what we saw with a Nerd's Nerd, when she had the call of her grandfather, the villain dying off.
That's the old Irregulars game.
Yes, that one. Because that was something that was quite nice to see. That's what it's called.
Well, that's good. I'm glad you like that. But yeah, that's what's going on in my world. What's going on in yours there, Seraphis? You Ozzy?
Not much.
How's your games? How is your games? Are they going well?
Third edition game that gives you aneurysms going.
It got cancelled last session, so I'm waiting for the next session still.
You got canceled. Did it inappropriately drop an N-bomb? What happened? How to get hashtag canceled?
Oh, the DM was sick.
Did they finally catch you for all the inappropriate shit you've been doing under the table? Hashtag me too.
I haven't done anything inappropriate under the table, thank you very much.
It's all been just appropriate enough.
Person there.
It's all been inappropriate above the table, so otherwise no one will be able to see it.
Everyone's expected to be looking underneath the table. I surprised them by doing it in front of them.
And boy, were they surprised.
and me and him have the minds of a 13-year-old.
Ours is witty. Yours is like poop. That looks like a boob. You're like the Beavis and Butthead of the Dungeon Tubers.
I need to prepare for my 5th edition game tonight, because that went like that direction when I expected something very differently. The crew, when we were making characters, I was explaining to them, right, we're going to be doing some dungeon exploration. You need to do this, establish supply lines. You're going to be conquering lands over here, building up a city, all this really interesting stuff, to me at least. And the players, without communicating to each other, just all went into the direction of, we are going very close to the Underdark. Our characters will not be good. And every single one of them just went, can I play a Durigar? Can our NPC support be a Drow? Can we have these people? What is the stance on enslavement in this world? I went, no, don't do this. It's like, yep, we are doing this, Oscar. We're going to do an evil campaign now. It's like, you know what? I'm not mad. But I'm going to see how far you guys are going to take this.
Out evil them, man. That's what I was doing. My players want to play an evil campaign. It's like, all right. You realize I'm not going to play the good guys stupid, right? Like, you know that. Like, they're not going to be dumbasses. They're going to be good at what they do. Are you guys prepared for that? Well, it usually takes one session before they never ever want to do that with me again.
The thing is, though, my players are ready for this. They've even made they're constantly joking about it's about the Geneva suggestions and how they're gonna how they're just gonna do everything to just win. And it's a bit terrifying now that they're sitting there going it's all right. We have X amount of NPCs, and we can only lose X amount before we have to do a morale check, which means, technically speaking, we have a meat shield buffer before we have to worry. Yes. I have gathered up my old Sunday group, the ones where I basically needed to beef up the Red Hand of Doom to keep them in check. And they have just gone okay, we're doing this again, but we're doing it against the denizens of the Underdark. And given that we've got, a Durigar, a Hobgoblin Sergeant at Arms, who is the player is genuinely writing down the faults of the other characters if they are not fighting dirty enough in the battles that he witnesses. So that's only spurring the other players to do more heinous stuff. And yeah, I'm excited, and I'm also worried for what I have started. It's like I've got a grease fire in front of me, and all I have at my disposal is water. I'm curious to see how bad. Exactly. I'm curious to see where I can go.
He's got a handful of grease and a bottle of water, and he's looking at the grease fire going, neither of these are good ideas.
I mean, you guys know what I'm like as a DM. I'm very open about, I'm going to ham fist and sledgehammer you guys into the oblivion. My players have more or less come to the point of where they've just accepted this is the norm, and then they try to do the same tactics back at whatever I present before them. Meaning it's not an arms race, it's more of a terror race of who can do the most heinous stuff before the other side concedes.
Hey, whatever fills your boots and makes you happy.
It does make me happy. It weirdly does.
So what I'm hearing is that Sax has now added fisting to his sadistic DMing style.
Listen, no one's playing the monk, sadly. Think of all the fury of fist that you could be, spamming out during the combat. It's just great. Absolute toddlers.
So, Seraphis, I have some questions for you. Or actually, a question.
Oh dear. I have pants on.
Damn.
See? 12.
See, I would have done the response I would have given is well, that's not going to stop it, but go on.
Sorry, Bear. I think you've just gotten outnumbered. So no, what? Aw. So I'm preparing for the release of this new D&D book, the Artificer Forge of whatever it's called, Forge of the Artificer, And it's made me
The
start really
artificer
kind of
forge of "Give me money, we suck." I mean, sorry.
yeah, pretty much. And it's made me really start kind of digging into the artificer. I mean, I've always known about the class, I've always known about it and everything, but and you know, of course, I've explored the history of it, the origins of it, and it seems like Eberron really kind of catapulted that class into the limelight, into the forefront. Now, the question that I have for you, and it's not a knock of Eberron in any way, but do you feel that Eberron as a setting would have been more justified as a standalone game system as opposed to a part of the D&D pantheon or universe?
I really, really enjoyed Eberron the first time it
Yeah,
came
I
out.
did too.
When it was called Earth Dawn.
I don't
You
think
understand?
I've ever made that connection.
This is the point. Eberron is not unique. It is not interesting. It is not new. When it came out for the third edition, everyone I knew was praying for a new Greyhawk, a new generic, birthright or whatever, like a
Right.
medieval fantasy society that didn't have all the baggage of the Forgotten Realms attached to it. And we got Eberron. And we're all like, this is fucking nonsense. What is this horse shit? This is like, fuck, give me Dark Sun back. This is garbage, And then when the D&D Online came out, I'm like, oh, all right, D&D MMO, that could be fun. It's set in Eberron. Fuck that, not playing that game. I can't stand Eberron. So would Eberron have been better served by being its own game engine? Don't care, to be honest. Eberron would have been served better by never existing, in my opinion. Your mileage clearly will vary. Sarah, you've done some deep dives on Eberron. You must have opinions.
I think that Eberron doesn't at all hold itself to working with D&D system at all. And the fact that you can take 5 minutes to look at systems on the Eberron Discord and see Pathfinder, Deadland, Savage Worlds, and a bunch of other systems that the Eberron community has essentially exported the world of Eberron to, kind of shows that it really isn't tied down to D&D at all. So
yeah, I mean, Bear, honestly, I've never put the connection between really Earth Dawn kind of did it.
Oh, it's super there.
Yeah.
And now that Max isn't here, I'm going to fully agree. It's super there because, I mean, quite literally, like one of the biggest things about Earth Dawn is, the dragons. And, what's Eberron's big thing? Oh, dragons. And a dragon prophecy.
Yeah, I firmly believe the guy who wrote Eberron was basically converting his Earth Dawn campaign when he did it.
Probably.
With some of his
You got enough of the...
and his steampunk thrown in,
And I never knew this. According to the Wikipedia, the setting of Earth Dawn is the same world as Shadowrun, but takes place millennia earlier.
Yes.
Yeah.
I never knew that either.
During the Fourth World. During the Fourth World, not the
Well,
Sixth
shit,
World.
I learned something today. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Like, I could go on about, like, how there's similarities. I mean, obviously, you can point to, like, Mountain Shadow essentially being Dunkelstein in Shadowrun. So from Earth Dawn to Shadowrun. Is it Mountain Shadow? Pretty sure it's Mountain Shadow. But then, like, you can look at Dunkelstein's, like, personality traits and then go, oh, look, they're almost exactly the same as essentially the blue dragon that is now known as the god Dolara. It's
Oh, now I know why you like Shadowrun so much. They name their shit the way Australians name towns. Rulagal. That's why. Now I understand.
And Shadowrun's setting book for Australia is absolutely fucking
Is
badass.
it?
Australian.
Because it includes.
Oh, there
Yeah.
evidently was a game magazine called Australian Realms that really featured a lot of stuff too.
Well, because that's the
Um,
only game that ever put out a setting book for Australia, so they're all going to fucking be married to it, right?
Yeah.
Every other game that does Australia folds it into their Japan and Southeast Pacific source book, or Southeast Asia.
No, because Palladium
I'm
did it.
teasing.
part of
Jesus
the
Christ,
Australia
you
book.
fucking pedant.
No, but now I'm thinking like there's Palladium.
Yeah, Palladium does the.
There's that-
They have it for Ninja Turtles.
Riffs.
Yeah, it also
Yeah, Ninja Turtles has it too.
has one. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Then Shadowrun has their Australia book, and then Call of Cthulhu has one, but I'm not really aware of many others that do.
Call of Cthulhu. Sandy Peterson presents Chaosium's Call of Cthulhu Australia. Here's a textbook on Australia, and there you go. It's Call of Cthulhu horror.
We're just going to add to
I'm not
everything
s-
that wants to kill you there.
No, we're just going to give stats to everything that wants to kill you and just call them Cthulhuid horrors.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I swear that like with some of the creatures that they came up with for Terra Australis, like it's basically like they looked at, oh, look at this spider. Okay, we're just going to remove the fact that it's a spider and give it like a cosmic horror name instead, and just have it do all the same things, and people will think, oh my god, what a terrifying creature. And it's like, no, that's just a wolf spider. Of course it'll run and hop after
Yeah,
you.
but at the
What do you-
same time, like
yeah.
giving it a Cthulhu cosmic horror origin just meant giving it whatever the fucking Aboriginal name was for it. It's a wolf spider. Actually, nah. It's a Wallaringal. A Wallaringal. Yeah, now Lethiatep uses them. Now Lethiatep, is that in the out of territory? This is the problem with your country. It was named for Cthulhu shit. Everything. It's fucking crazy. If it wasn't
Maybe
so hot,
Australia is
all
the true
spiders,
Cthulhu.
I'd come visit. I would. I swear to God. If it wasn't the heat, I could be able to handle in the end. It's the spiders. I can't fucking do that.
No.
No, I would see one huntsman shit myself and have to listen to 18 fucking Aussies tell me, nah, they're completely harmless. Like, we know they're completely harmless. Arachnophobes aren't worried about harm. It's not the harm that bothers us. It's the fucking thing existing in its look,
Yeah. No, my holiday in Australia, we did have a spider that came by, big-ish. Didn't stop me from throwing my shoe halfway across the apartment to kill it. Even though I'm sure it was harmless and everything. I just went, nope, you right there, you will die. And you will not live to see the sunsets. And that became my job.
Wolf spider is? We have them out on the west coast in Vancouver, the Lower Mainland. We have wolf spiders. And they're big and they're hairy and they're ugly and they're aggressive as fuck. But that's not the worst part about the fucking wolf spider. They hiss. That's the worst part about a fucking wolf spider. We found one in our tub, so we threw a fucking bucket over it until we could figure out how to get it, because he was about this fucking big around. Like, he was a big fucking spider, I know in Australia that's like a pet. I get it. But for Canada, that's a big fucking spider. And we're trying to figure out, like, what are we going to fucking do about it? We can hear it skittering under the plastic container we put over it, throwing itself against it to try and get out, and hissing. And I'm just like, nope, I'm out. My roommate can deal with this shit. I'm going for a walk. Fuck you all.
Yeah, at that point, there's only two options. One, slide it over to the drain, or two, wait for winter.
Yeah, well, one, winter doesn't hit the Lower Mainland. That's why so many fucking people live there, because it rarely goes below freezing. Two, it was too big to go down the drain.
Gotcha.
Oh my God, my roommate eventually was able to get a piece of cardstock under the container to trap it. And then he said as he was taking it outside, holding the cardstock to the container to take this outside, he could feel it jumping up and down on the cardstock in his hand. Like, fuck. No, wolf spiders suck. Yeah, option 3, gun. Option 4, burn the fucking place.
Nuke
Take
it from
off and
orbit.
nuke it from orbit. It's the only
It's the only way to be sure.
I think there's another guy on YouTube. Whenever he sent videos of spiders, of course he reposts that and with his reaction, and it's always him going like no, and he takes whatever is nearby, throws out the window, throws out the room, going nope, nope, nope. Here's what you do: you get the deed for the land, you give it to the spider. The spider now owns your house. This is it. It has now dominated you, and you will submit to it, and you will move. It is now the lord and master of these lands. You will not fight it, and you will do nothing against it. You will just nope out of there and surrender.
As an Aussie,
Go ahead.
As an Aussie, I feel the stirring in my blood to grab my nearest thong and smack that bitch.
See, in North America, that wouldn't work because if we grabbed the nearest thong, it would be our girlfriend's underwear, and that would not be killing the spider. And then the spider would literally light his cigarette and be like, what, you trying to turn me on here? What's going on? What's happening here? Also, your rent's late. Sorry, Spider Master. Come on. Come on.
Not only do you have to pay the mortgage, you've also got the spider running and racketeering now. Just coming up with this like, well, TikTok.
Yeah. Smoking 3 cigarettes at the same time, right?
Exactly. Just like, you think I'm the only one hustling here? I've got the entire street to visit. Don't be late.
I've got 30 kids.
In Vancouver, there's no screens on any of the windows. Why are there no screens on any of the windows, you might ask? They don't have mosquitoes in the city of Vancouver. It's weird, but there are no fucking mosquitoes. So, like, you can go out at, like, 6 o'clock at night and start barbecuing. You're not going to get eaten alive or any of that shit. But the trade-off is wolf spiders. It's just like, I'm not sure which I prefer. I think I want the screens and the mosquitoes back, please, because those fuckers don't scare me. They just annoy me.
But imagine if you did have mosquitoes, how much bigger those spiders would get.
Yeah, they'd be Florida mosquitoes. I was reading an article years ago. This girl was talking about when she moved to Florida and how no one had prepared her for this particular breed of mosquito that lives in Florida that's from South America. And she goes, and when they sting, when they bite you, it feels like a bee sting. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
No. Mosquito bites are annoying enough. Like, they're not, it's a sharp pain, but, and the lie. I love the lie they tell you when the mosquito carries a blah, blah, blah in his proboscis that deadens pain and therefore allows them to feed. It does not fucking deaden shit. What are you talking about? You're like, ow, fuck, what the fuck? And then you got a handful of dead bug and blood. So if you got ones that sting like a bee level in pain, no. Just no.
And remember, they swarm you. They're all going to come for you.
And then we have the ticks that bite you and can make you allergic to eating meat.
Oh, the Lone Star tick. Yeah.
Oh, God, I've heard of those.
That fucking guy. And then everyone goes, fucking, Lovecraft was a crazy person. No, Lovecraft was just paying attention to nature and then just extrapolating.
Yeah.
That's crazy shit. Crazy shit.
Nature is scary enough.
But nature does provide its own cleansing systems if you want. So if you live in an area that has a lot of mosquitoes and you want to have a backyard and you want to have a nice fucking backyard, make a little fountain, like a little fountain area in it, and plant all the plants that attract dragonflies.
Yeah.
One dragonfly can eat something like 10,000 mosquitoes a day or some shit like that. Like, it's some crazy number. I'm saying 10,000 could be 1,000. I don't know. So if you've got like dragonflies, which will leave you the fuck alone, have no interest in interacting with you, won't bite you, don't sting, just fucking flit around and look kind of cool, your backyard will be heaven, because all the mosquitoes figure out that's where the dragonflies hunt. So they stay away from that area because they're still, creatures in the ecosystem.
Yep.
Also, they're designed for Lex.
They're what?
Dragonfly was also the design for Lex.
For legs?
Lex. Lex.
Oh, that stupid shitty show that was shot in Halifax that I never watched because it was a stupid shitty Canadian sci-fi show? That one?
Well, Canadian-German, but yes.
Yeah, never watched it.
All right.
Saw the weird TV face guy and went, nope. Just went on to, oh, look, Hercules is on. I'll watch that. Oh, yeah, no Lex for me. But yeah, dragonflies are amazing. So you can attract them to your backyard, and if you plant catnip, that also apparently repels mosquitoes. Now you're going to have every stray cat in the neighborhood fucking stoned in your backyard, but if you're a cat person, that'll be fine. Which will also reduce the rodent population in your area. Also a plus.
Which in turn will reduce the snake population.
Also a plus. Nah, we're going to import this invasive species instead.
No, the government doesn't do that anymore. Yes, thankfully, long gone are the days of our stupid colonial government deciding to import a species to get rid of another one. Fucking retards.
In their defense, they were working with the science of the time. I mean, medical science had just graduated from, he's ill in the humors. We must attach leeches to him to remove this illness. You got to cut him some slack on that, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard about palmetto bugs. I hear they're pretty intense. It's the lizards. That's the thing. My buddy was in, I think, Cuba or Mexico, was one or the other, and he sent us a video from his fucking iPhone of the lizard that was living in his hotel room. And he's like, I wake up in the middle of the night, and all I hear is, and I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, it's just crawling across the ceiling. And I can hear its little claws bouncing off the stucco. I'm like, fuck. Lovecraft looked at the world and just extrapolated it.
I mean, yesterday I had my Warhammer game, and they're fighting off against a species that I've made up, but I've basically based them around the wasps, so hyper aggressive, and I figured, we need to make them extra evil so that they rely on birthing their larvae inside of humans, so they come to human civilizations and they go, hey, we're gonna scoop you up, insert our larvae into you. You will then be eaten from the inside out, and we will use the rest of your body for these things.
Aliens.
The players, sorry?
Aliens.
Sure. I haven't watched that. But yeah, so basically the players are fighting against that, and they then have to come up close to some of these, the brood birthers. And they were just like, they disgusted as I was describing, as the larvae were inside of them, wanting to basically get out. And they're like, nope, just apply napalm here and gunfire. Lots and lots of gunfire. Just replace the oxygen and nitrogen with bullets, and we will resolve the problem.
It's a lead-rich atmosphere. What?
It's like, the players just went, we're not dealing with this, Oscar. No, we're going to be in that flying helicopter, which has got dual-linked missile launchers, and we're just going to level this area. No.
Now, hear me out, says the science member of the team. I've got a crazy idea. We're going to replace the oxygen and nitrogen with liquid fire. What do you think?
As long as we don't ignite the atmosphere, we'll be fine.
Fuck it.
Yeah.
They're on the planet. The planet can go fuck itself. These wasp things die.
Yeah, but we have to rescue the cat.
Fuck the cat.
No, Brian, you don't understand my group. They prioritized the bureaucratic taxman of the planet first before they rescued anyone else. That's my group. And they went, right, we got him off. That's the important guy. As for everyone else, we've now discovered that we can create domes and recycle air, so we don't need the oxygen.
I'm telling you, you have just described Alien and Aliens. I mean,
Okay.
like verbatim.
Have I? Okay.
Yes,
Yeah,
100%.
Not quite verbatim, but a lot of parallels that if you made a movie out of your story, people would be calling it an Aliens ripoff.
All right.
Yeah,
I mean,
Sax wouldn't have seen Alien or Aliens because
They're
he
horror
can't get through the mortuary's assistant.
Yeah, Sax doesn't do horror films.
oh Jesus Christ, the motor. No, the motorist assistant gets me every single time because again, video game, but I genuinely thought I had prepared myself. I spent about 2 hours just getting ready for it. I was like, okay, I can speed run this. I can speed run this. And the game just goes, oh, you're trying to speed run it, are we? Well, we're now going to increase the horror level and we're going to have people standing by the window. So when you turn to look at them, you just see their silhouette and the eyes glaring back at you and then they disappear. You're just going to hear someone whisper at you and tickling right behind you gets me every time. And just sometimes, maybe we're just going to switch off the light while you're working. And I sit there like, I don't like this. I can't stand this. I don't like the fact that I've now turned around and someone was. Shall I go on?
I've had 2 video games that have made me have what the fuck moments. I was playing I Had the Beholder 2 or whatever on my PC back in the day when I was in radio school, and I had my really, really nice set of Koss headphones on, plugged in because it was late at night. I didn't want to bother everybody, and my character in the game, you're walking down this fucking corridor, and I had stereo sound in my ears, and a monster was behind me, but I had forgotten I had headphones on. I was so immersed, and all I heard from behind me was and I shot out of my chair, forgetting I was physically attached by the headphones, which yanked my head, and then I wound up on the floor, giggling like a maniac because there was nothing else I could do. That's how bad the game scared me. All right, cool. Then I'm playing Resident Evil, and there's that moment where you're going down the corridor with the glass windows, and everything's just fine, and then the zombie dogs come through the glass. I screamed like a little girl. Like, I was just like, man, threw my controller in the air. I was like, no, 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 no. My roommate was on the floor crying, laughing at me. Because I just, like, you're this huge, tough guy, and you turned into a little fucking, put on your pigtails and sell some cookies.
What my wife absolutely enjoys when I play these horror games is that she can tell the moment that I hit real fear because I stop speaking English and I just gibber on in random words in Danish because I genuinely, it just comes to the point where it's like click, and I just start saying things, and it just goes on and on. And again, it's on the channel. You can watch it and enjoy the horror that I have. But it got to a point where I was at the very end. I was just terrified. I was up here. I was like, I just want to get on with it. I just want to get on with it. And there is what's referred to as a mimic. It's a guy, pure white, black eyes, that kind of thing, and he's just usually off in the distance. Just appears when you least expect him. I see him. I'm absolutely I'm shitting myself. And I just find myself shouting at my computer screen, fuck you, you don't pay taxes. I don't want to deal with you. Because I don't know how else to insult him. I don't know what to say. So I'm just like, fuck you don't pay taxes. I've got a job to do. Get out of here.
Sax, that was the funniest thing. Grim and I still laugh about that. It was hilarious.
Fuck you! You don't pay taxes. I'm not dealing with you. Jesus Christ.
I didn't know what to say. I was just like, I don't want to deal with this. Fuck you! Don't pay taxes. Fuck off. It's just. And then at the very end, like just as I'm about to like, I think I realized later, like I had completely fucked myself over. Because you're meant to do an exorcism. And I didn't realize that the symbols don't show you themselves in the order of what you have to put them in. You have to gather up all the symbols and then figure out what order you're meant to be putting them in. Didn't do that, so I basically caused myself to die. Then I get flung around and I'm in the middle of being possessed and I try to get out, but then the game lags and I get stuck in something. I'm like, I can't deal with this. I just can't. I can't. I'm just going to die. Just control, Alt F4 out. Can't deal with this. Mind you, I also got lost in my own dreamscape where I'm supposed to, relive the reason for why I am the way I am. And I'm just like, what am I meant to do? And what I'm meant to do is pick up a rock that's right next to the person that I'm meant to be killing. But I don't see the rock because I'm so scared. I'm so tunnel visioned. I don't see it. So I'm walking up and down this nightmare road, 2 times with things like coming out and looking at me. I'm like, where? What am I meant to do? Why am I here? Who are you people? I don't have change. Go away.
Don't have age.
I don't know what to do. I just panic. I just go like,
He's yelling at the zombies, "Get a job, you fucking freeloaders!"
I don't know.
Wow.
But this is what happens when I get scared. Like, I just start, I don't know, like these things just suddenly pop into my head and I don't have, like, I can't start, I don't have the filter up anymore. I'm just like, whatever's happening in there just comes out. And then eventually I find it. I'm like, oh God, finally, just kill him. I want to get out of here. I'm like, oh wait, that's my boyfriend.
Sax, I have a question.
I am not replaying it.
If I play one of the Dark Anthology games, can I have you live streaming with me?
Which one of the Dark Anthology are you playing?
Which one would you be interested in?
If we do the one with the house, that is the one that creeps me out the most.
Oh, The Devil in Me?
Yeah. Because that is... You see some messed up things in that.
I'd watch.
I know you would. Because we could do a co-op of that, and you'll just... I mean, again, I don't think he can see what I will be able to see, and I can't see what he's doing, so we're just going to be miscommunicating him. So at some point, you're just going to be hearing... At some point, you are just going to be hearing which OSHA employees approved of this. This is absolute bullshit. I demand another inspection.
Ooh. Oh, and he's back. What happened this time?
Same thing.
Okay.
It just popped up a little error for us. I ignore it.
No, this was the error popped up. I'm like, oh, look, there's an error. Oh, all my USB devices just shut off and kicked me out of everything. Oh, thank you. Fucking love my Mac, but
yes, I would 100% tune in to watch that.
Yeah. I would watch the show of that, like the recreation as a dramatic comedy series of this one character walking through a horror world, constantly reacting like this to, like, you know, vampires and shit. Just like, no, you're dead. You haven't paid your inheritance state tax. No, I would just die laughing.
Oh, in that case, Sax needs to come on a paranormal hunt with me then.
Oh dear God, you don't do that, do you?
I have been on a paranormal ghost tour, which was interesting.
I used to do that.
I did it for the sake of fun. I had a visitor. I was like, well, you know what? We're just going to do that. I thought it would be like, oh, here's like the dark and grimy murders that's taking place here in this city. And instead, it was like, no, these places were genuinely haunted. We had these experts that came in, and I went, wait, you guys are actually trying to take this serious?
Wait. Experts?
I was just
the University of Woo Woo.
I don't know. I was just like, I don't know what to say here. I am just gonna shut up. I am in too deep. It's like that the meme of the penguin was like, I am in too deep. I'm just gonna keep going forward. I don't know what to say here.
So I'll say this: I was part of a team for about 4 years. We probably went maybe 5 times a year. So just a small handful of times. Never once in my entire time doing it did I ever encounter anything that would make me go, yeah, ghosts are real. Nothing.
So unlike all the bullshit you see on YouTube and on TV, you didn't have people running around behind the scenes faking shit to make it sound like there were actually ghosts there. How fascinating.
Yeah.
I've known people who've gotten involved with ghost hunting who've later been like, I quit. Why? Well, because when we went with this one group that was, you know, pretty famous, they were showing us how to fake shit to get more views.
Yeah.
It's insanity, man.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we would capture stuff, some EVPs and shit like that, and of course there would be some unexplained noises, that we heard that didn't get picked up. But I don't know. I just that to me, that within itself, an EVP is not direct evidence.
Well, you're a rural guy, right? You live out in the sticks.
Yeah, somewhat.
You ever walk through the woods?
Yeah.
On a quiet day?
Yeah.
How much weird shit do you hear in the woods?
Oh, a lot. Yeah.
But it's all, if you know, it's all
Right.
perfectly natural. You're just not
Right.
used to hearing it. What's the
Right.
saying? You go to these old buildings, they're still settling. They have creaks and groans
No,
and all this kind of shit.
What will fuck you up walking through the woods is when all of those sounds are there and then
And they stop.
like that and they stop.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Right. And then you have to think to yourself, is it me?
right.
Or is it something else that I don't see that they all picked up on?
Right.
It's now I'm being watched by something. You know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, fuck. That's why I said Lovecraft took the real world and just extrapolated it. You don't need the crazy. You don't need the woo. There's plenty of terrifying, magical, wonderful shit in the world of nature. Terrifying stuff. But no. It's the dead spirit of is it a ghost? Oh my fucking Christ!
It's
not a
Bigfoot.
ghost. It's. I have an easier time believing in the idea of a large hominid of a small population size that's a leftover from some previous fucking proto-human hominid species hiding out in a vast fucking wilderness and avoiding us than I do in ghosts. I have a way easier time with that. Because let's face it, silverback gorillas were a myth for the longest time that the British insisted didn't exist until they finally saw one and went, oh shit, those exist. So it's all debatable. But ghosts, oh my fucking Christ, stop. Just stop. And then the worst with Bigfoot is like, you bring up Bigfoot and it's all, well, they're all telepathic. Oh fuck, stop. Stop adding your extra levels of woo-woo bullshit to this.
They're telepathic, they can teleport, and they're interdimensional. Yeah.
All right, I'm going to share something with you guys. Are you monetized, Sarah?
Fuck no.
Okay. Hang on. I don't know if I can get the audio track on it. Yeah. I'm going to share something with you. So you might get a strike because I shared something with you. Is that okay for you? Not a strike, but you'll get a warning to take it down. Does that bother you?
No.
Good. Here. This is probably the greatest piece of Bigfoot you ever needed.
He may not be Canadian, but at least he appreciates us. Mitch Hedberg!
All right, some Canadian television exposure, finally. I gotta find out when this airs, so when I come into the country, I can be ready for the
He's got nice hair.
adulation.
Nice.
Yeah, I've been on the David Letterman show twice. Anyone see me? Hey, I'll be damned. Like 4 million people watch that show, and I don't know where the hell they are. But that's my favorite introduction I've ever had. You might have seen this next comedian on the David Letterman show. But I believe more people have seen me at the store. And that would be a better introduction. You might have seen this next comedian at the store. And people would say, hell yes, I have. I opened up a yogurt, and underneath the lid, it said, please try again. They were having a contest I was unaware of. But I thought I might have opened the yogurt wrong. Or maybe your play was trying to inspire me. Come on, Mitch, don't give up. Please try again. A message of inspiration from your friends at Yo Play. Fruit on the bottom, hope on top. I used to do drugs. I still do, but I used to too. I like to play blackjack. I'm not addicted to gambling. I'm addicted to sitting in a semicircle. My friend is a blackjack dealer, And on his forearm, he has a tattoo of an ace and a jack. You see, I'm a blackjack player. On my forearm, I'm gonna get a tattoo of a 10 and a 2. And then maybe later a king. I think Bigfoot is blurry. That's the problem. It's not the photographer's fault. Bigfoot is blurry. And that's extra scary to me because there's a large, out-of-focus monster roaming the countryside.
Anyway, that's just my favorite comment on Bigfoot ever. He's just blurry. Just like, fuck, man. I've seen so many goddamn Bigfoot videos, and 99% of them are just like, that's a fucking bear. That's a fucking, beaver. That's a fucking, it's a marmot. You know what I mean? It's like, it's anything but a fucking Bigfoot. But then you see the ones, there's like that 1% where you go, oh, fuck, what the fuck is that? Like, like that's the shit that's fun. That's what I like about the paranormal. Is when you get past the 99% that people are all 100%, like all the woo-woo people like, see? It's like, no. When you get to that 1%, that's the inexplicable shit, that's the cool shit. That's the shit where you go, oh, yeah, what the fuck is that? What's going on there? Remember I used to do my ghost watching videos, Sarah? I do the live thing, and how many of them were I'm like, come on, fuck you, you're full of shit. But there'd always be like one or two eventually I'd go, what the fuck is that? How the fuck did they do that? And that's the other problem. 9 times out of 10, when I see a ghost video and something cool happens, my initial reaction is, how the fuck did you do that? Like that. It's like watching Penn and Teller. It's like, how did you do that trick? I want to know. Because ghosts are not real.
Pretty much. That's what's fun about it.
If I were to run a paranormal fucking investigation society, I would play it straight for like 6 months, right? And just like nothing happens because nothing ever fucking really happens, and let them all get their heads full of whatever. And then the last month, I'd get all my friends from the film industry together, like the effects people and shit, and then do like one night where it's just like all shit breaks loose. Just watch all the people around me crying and freaking out. And then after be like, and here's the people who put this bullshit on for you fucking gullible woo-woo cunts.
I want to do one reality show that's kind of a takeoff of like, Ghost Hunters or whatever, insert reality ghost hunting show here. But it's like 4 or 5 folks that are sitting around hunting ghosts. But every ghost that they see, it actually is just a guy wearing a bed sheet with holes cut out of it.
Okay. Sarah was there for this. I'm watching one of these, doing a live reaction to one of these fucking ghost hunting compilation videos. And they're all bullshit, and they're all bullshit, and they're all bullshit. And the guy's playing it straight, a strange presence in the middle of the night woke him up, blah, 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 blah. And then they cut to Bob and his friend were investigating a haunted cathedral, and and then he saw something he couldn't explain. And on the upper balcony, a guy in a sheet walks by. So clearly they're fucking around taking the piss, right? But the ghost hunter video is like, was it a ghost? Didn't you explain what they saw? Yeah, it was his fucking buddy in a sheet. What the fuck are you talking about?
I thought you were going to say the one about the guys, where are they? Like India or Pakistan or something.
Oh my God,
and like
just their body painted black.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my, like that's the one thing when you watch enough of these videos, you start to learn the patterns based on the cultures, right? So the Japanese stuff is always going to have a Ringu bitch somewhere. There will always be a Ringu bitch somewhere in the ghost video, right? Or a white face glancing around a corner. Yeah. Always. In Mexico, it'll always be some chick with long hair and a white dress, La Llorona, or a kid running by. So was it a ghost of a child that died here? No, it's his fucking nephew, Pedro. And he said he'd looking for fucking ice cream if he ran across the place for them at 3 a.m, But when you get to India, they're the funniest shit of all of them because they put zero fucking effort in other than they paint their friend jet black with body paint, put him in white underwear, and have him run around in the woods at night. And then they try and catch him and put him in a hole and shit. You're just like, oh my fucking Christ, it's not a ghost. It's Sanjay. What the fuck is wrong with you people? But those who want to believe, man, are so easily fucking fooled. You know? Easily fucking fooled. Kills me. No critical thought. None. And they fall for everything, by the way. I literally had a friend who's into all this woo-woo shit send me a picture of one of those dragon fireplaces. Right? You've seen them on Facebook and stuff. Clearly AI. Clearly AI. And I'm like, well, that's AI, though. It's not real. No, it's not. You know, it's AI. You can't buy that. That doesn't exist. No, I have a friend who does this, and they do stuff like this all the time. Well, then buy one from them, for fuck's sake. But Jesus Christ, this is AI. You know, stop your nonsense. But this is fucking P.T. Barnum, man. There's a fool born every minute. And then Bailey came along and added the adage, and two to take them. You know what I mean? Like, that's just the way it is. We've all been. Every one of us on this panel has fallen for something one time. Where we lost money on something we thought was a good deal. We bought a product that didn't exist and never shipped. We bought oh my God, I couldn't believe I got this good deal on eBay, and then turned out it was horseshit and you never got the fucking package and they just took your money and ran. We've all fallen for it once or twice. But there are people out there who are like professional suckers. Like that's all I figure out is that their entire job in society is to maintain the economics of the scam industry. What the fuck is that?
Means coffee's out.
We will rebuild. We will get through this time together, sir. I promise you. You're not alone.
Oh, I was going to say something different. It's going to be like, well, what are you going to do about this? These are
I'm
not
just going to pour
standard
myself
stuff.
some more.
Well, there you go.
That coffee?
Yeah.
Was it like iced coffee or some shit?
Yeah, it's iced coffee.
Well, get the fuck out of here, you basic bitch. Iced coffee, you little girl. You've been
It's
here on college.
smooth. It's cold. Starting to get room temperature now, but
Is it full of sugar?
0 sugar. No, I can't eat. I can't do sugar. No, it's my eyes suck. Coffee, filtered water, coffee, natural flavor.
Nice.
0 carbs.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's still iced coffee. It can go fuck itself.
It's just cold
Coffee is meant to be. Listen, there's only 3 ways you are meant to consume coffee: hot in a cup, ice cream, or yogurt. That's it. That's all. Every other coffee flavor can. Oh, and in Canada, crisp.
I'm going to disagree with you here. What is the reason for drinking coffee?
For me, flavor.
Flavor. Okay. Are you
I love
drinking
the flavor.
caffeinated or decaffeinated?
Caffeinated.
Okay. So
I do drink decaf as well sometimes.
Yeah. But the point of
I just
drinking
like the
caffeinated coffee is to get that infusion of caffeine.
Oh God, no! I'm so past that. My nerve system has been rewritten enough times by caffeine that it has no effect on me.
Yeah, I agree. But the average person, if they just sip hot coffee, you're getting
Yes, they
tiny
like their
micro
dirty
doses.
tea water.
You drink it like this, like it's water, you're getting that infusion of caffeine immediately.
Yeah, but you're also getting what I have, which is you've drunk so much fucking coffee in your life, your nerve receptors are almost dead to it. And then when you
That's
stop
why I
drinking
have
coffee
this
for a
much.
day or two, guess what happens?
That's why I
migraines
have. That's why I have this much and not just a little cup of it.
Where do you get it from?
At grocery store.
Oh, cool. I've never seen that product. We don't have it here, as near as I can tell. Looks neat. That's one thing I love about going to the States. Whenever I get to go down across the border and just go to even in the small border towns, villages, going to your grocery stores is like walking into the mecca of excess. It's just like, what the fuck? Here I go to the pop, the soda pop or the whatever you want to call it, soft drinks, that aisle, and it's like, oh look, there's 4 or 5 0 sugar choices, and then there's about 8 with sugar choices. This is very nice. I go to the ones in the States, 40,000 choices.
Yeah, we have 105 linear feet by 8-foot tall shelves of sodas. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Hey, you guys drink a lot of that shit.
That's why we have a lot of diabetes in this country.
Well, also, though, with the zero sugar kind too, you guys have endless flavor. That's why I like going down, because I'll pick up like 10 or 12 cases, 12 packs of like, cherry diet 7-Up and like, cherry A&W cream soda and like, what the fuck is this? I don't know. It's ginger root float, but it's got zero sugar. Let's try it.
So we've got this thing when there's a new flavor of soda that comes out, we get one bottle of it just to try it.
Yeah.
My son came home yesterday with a bottle of Sprite /tea. Sprite has made a Sprite tea flavor.
Your country is an abomination.
Okay. I do not disagree with that.
Says the guy living in Darwin's waiting room. That's interesting, you two countries, by the way. You're in Darwin's waiting room. They employ everyone in the waiting room. They're just like, come on in. We'll give you something to do. This town needs crazy people. Come work here. It's mental. I remember we were in Duluth. We were driving across from British Columbia to Montreal, and we ducked down into North Dakota and then came through the north and back up through Sault Ste. Marie. So Duluth was where we spent the night, our first night in the States. And the place we found to stay in Duluth was like they had, I don't know, I guess it's a motel, but like there's a main building and then there's all these little cabins that you rent. And that's like your room for the night. And it's got a TV and a shower. It's like a hotel room, but it's a cabin.
Yeah.
Which is creepy in and of its own self. It's like really fucking weird. But we got there at like 1 a.m. and the guy who answered at the desk, you ever see This Island Earth? The aliens with their big foreheads and their white hair. He looked like one of them. And in the back office where he came from, we could hear a baby crying. So, we just did all the paperwork, got our keys, and we're like, okay, put the chair in the door. How can we bar the windows tonight? Because like this feels like we're the children of the corn. Fuck, we're fucked. It's insane. Your country is so weird, brother.
Again, I do not disagree.
There are literally 3 people watching us right now. Hi, 3 people.
I'm one of them.
I am the other one.
Oh, well, there we go. So there are now 4 people watching us because I'm watching us too.
There we are.
I'm not watching us. I wouldn't.
Fuck off, Brian.
Joy.
I got to ask you, Sarah, why do you hate Graham Hancock? I can understand not agreeing with them, thinking he's full of shit, but your reaction to Graham Hancock last week on Cody and I's show was visceral, primal hate. What did he do that makes you hate him so much?
Okay, so under normal circumstances, I would thoroughly agree with you that it should just be a disliking of the guy, right?
Right.
However, it's a combination that he gets to like play up the victim from that debate thing he had on Joe Rogan with that dude, and then he's getting this backing team who gets to back him up, tear down like actual scientists with no proof or evidence, just more of the same. It's that he's creating a shitstorm down effect of just dumber and dumber fucking retards coming out of the works to support him.
Yeah, I can see your point. I disagree with it, but I can see your point. I would say save that level of hate for the Kardashians. Like they're creating stupider people.
Oh, yeah.
Come on.
Them too, but like
At least
different
Graham
categories.
Hancock getting people interested in ancient sites and megalithic structures. Even if they agree or disagree with them, at least he's providing them with a curiosity. Which is one of the reasons I can't fucking stand Zahi Hawass, Like, that fucker is just, oh my God. I mean, never mind the fact that he's been busted how many times for selling antiquities illegally. But, that guy gets all the respect in the world, yet Graham Hancock's a cunt? What? Come on. Everybody's selling a book, man. Everybody's selling something, and I get that. But just your hate of him was, overwhelming. I'm like, wow, you just called Graham Hancock a cunt. I was impressed. I can tell you why I call Zahi Hawass a cunt, easily.
Yeah, no. And, I will, thoroughly call out the bad ones in the science community as well. But it's just...
Neil deGrasse Tyson, do you call that prick out?
Yes.
What a piece of shit that guy is.
I didn't mind him originally when he was, essentially staying in his lane.
Oh, he got out of that lane fast.
Yes, that's the fucking problem. He got out of his fucking lane. But, it's about, I don't know, the way Graham Hancock gets this cult around him of just but and if and...
But you understand why that happens, right? You get the reasoning for that?
Because people want a story?
No, because people have been lied to so many times by what we would call verifiable or mainstream or whatever, right? What we call it. We've been lied to so many times by our knowledge people and our protectors and gatekeepers of science and all that. We've been lied, we've caught them lying. That's the worst part. COVID was just the fucking end result of that. Look how many lies they can tell in one fucking press conference, right? People are desperate for something else to believe in. So they're looking into the fringe, right? It's the same thing when you get the people who tell you, well, medicine, 100 years ago, they used to use this instead of giving you a pill. Yeah, and the death rate was much higher. That's the part you're forgetting. Is that if the ancient medicine was so fucking good, we never would have replaced it. We were always looking for solutions because the ancient medicine wasn't working as well as you think it was. Or what have you. So these people are just looking for something to believe in. And I think that's the crisis we're facing in Western civilization right now, is that people have nothing to believe in anymore because all of the institutions have lied. All of the heroes have feet of clay. All of the everything is corrupt. Everything is broken. Everything is damaged. And so people are just desperate, when their church turned out to be horrible, when their government turned out to be horrible, when their community turned out to be horrible, they're left constantly seeking for something to give them purpose, meaning, and guidance. And 90% of the human race is incapable of finding that on their own. They need an outside source to give it to them, which is why the scammers and the shenanigans and the fucking the fakers, come along and are able to swoop them in because they're desperate. But that doesn't mean the person who's saying, hey, there's a lot of weird shit that we're not talking about is a bad person. Like I've said, it's not Jesus I have a problem with, it's his fans, right? So maybe Graham Hancock doesn't deserve that much hate from you. Maybe it's just the industry that's built up around him that deserves the hate.
I will partially agree with you, but there's a difference between Jesus and Hancock.
What's that?
Jesus didn't exist.
I ain't touching that one. I've already eaten enough shit from Catholics who've watched me on here. I'm gonna let that go. Fucking, it's a high fly to center field. I'm not touching it.
Dude, I was a Catholic. I was a fucking altar boy. Fuck religion.
My grandmother played organ at the church. I was in the choir. I know. But yeah, I ain't touching that one. I'm like a Catholic priest. I ain't touching that one. But
so here in Australia, well, at least in my part of Australia, the worst thing you could get from a Catholic priest is, being added to the dead body list.
The dead body list?
My state is renowned for serial killers, and no one moves around like a
That happen
Catholic
to be
priest.
Catholic priests.
But no one moves around like them.
Oh, so your theory is Catholic priests are actually all serial killers?
At least in this state.
Fair. It's got as much validity as any other theory I hear these days.
But hey, you've got to give them credit. At least they were killing adults. There weren't any kitty fiddlers amongst that lot. So
Amongst the serial killers, tons of kitty fiddlers amongst serial killers, dude.
no, amongst the priests. For my hypothesis.
You're so weird.
Yeah, well, it's midnight now, so you know.
Brain shuts off.
Is it time for you to go to bed now, Seraphis? Is that what you're informing us?
Time to call it a day.
A little bit, but but yes.
So I cut my hand grating cheese the other day.
Oh,
I had a flat cheese grater, and I was doing my thing, and then it snapped because it's made of shitty garbage that in China, and that's how they work now. And I cut my hand. I was so fucking mad. I went online and I found there's a company here in Canada, and especially in Quebec, called Starfrit. It's Quebecois. That's why it's got a name like that. They make all these really great household kitchen products, and I have a bunch of their stuff. And they have a suction cup mounted one of those tube graters where you crank it and you push the shit down, but it's also got different blades. You can slice meat with it and shit, as long as the meat will fit in the hole. And I'm like, that's coming today. That's the high point of my day. I can't wait for this fucking thing to come. So I can immediately go, what? Wash with warm soapy water. Great. Okay. What can I grate?
hey, there's your YouTube channel. Will it grate?
Will it grate? Or no, just grating. Just a channel where I set up the camera. You don't hear me talk. I just play fucking royalty-free music, and I just grate shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then,
I guarantee you people would tune in and watch.
5-minute video about grating shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, Bear. Add in the right kind of soft ambient music to it.
Yeah. That's what
ASMR channel, you could get 10,000 views a day.
Yeah. Easy. There's your retirement plan.
There's my retirement plan. Grating shit for YouTube.
Once a day for 30 days, you could probably get enough ad revenue to also finish up Heroic and get enough money for that too.
Yeah, exactly. How'd you pay for this game? Grating shit. How'd you get this amazing art from these renowned named artists? How'd you get a Larry Elmore cover?
Oh, that was all from the Peanuts. Yeah, I graded the Peanuts, and that video alone earned me $20,000.
Yeah, exactly. Fuck, Jesus Christ.
Good heavens!
You know what? Not a crazy idea.
I mean, I've seen worse.
It's not the worst idea that can be suggested.
Just don't grate your cucumber. Yeah.
Now I've got
Why?
Too.
Why?
Just don't call it Two Girls, One Grater.
2 girls, 1 grade. That's my big
On that
fucking
note,
hairy hands
no.
in there.
Gentlemen, no, I've had enough. This is my limit. Gentlemen, it's been a lot of fun. And Bear, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to leave you to
Oh no, it's my time too. I got shit to do today too, and Sarah needs to go to bed. But Sax, catch up on all the heroic stuff you missed, man. I miss your constant input and appreciation of my work.
I will catch up and I will leave comments.
Oh, always nice.
A comment of saying, "Here is my comment as promised, meeting my quota."
Perfect. It's functional and it's technically correct. The best kind of correct.
I'm meeting my quotas. I am doing what I've been hired, volunteered
as
to do.
per the agreement. Here is my comment. Good day.
As per the social contract of our friendship agreement.
I am now commenting on this post.
I have liked, shared, and commented. I have expanded upon the influence of your wealth and your exposure to other people. Ergo, you have now risen up. And I just continue with that throughout all of them.
Fail.
I did actually check because I was curious, but I couldn't find a subreddit for specifically promoting sites. So I'm going to see if I can find heroic or superhero subreddits to see if I can just sort of go, hey, heroic page.